Okay, can everybody hear? Sound check? Okay, we'll take questions for Mr. Kiner-Falefa. First question, just raise your hands. And we will start. Let's go to Jeff.
What's up, Isaiah?
What's up?
Hey, I know you played shortstop your whole life, but has there been any kind of adjustment that you've had to make moving from third to short again?
I think for me personally, the biggest adjustment is fielding ground balls my whole life. I was kind of in the conventional spot. Right now, I've been adjusting to more in the 6-hole than your traditional shortstop. So I'd say that'd be the biggest adjustment is just getting used to playing deeper in the hole rather than playing more of a straight up spot. But other than that, it's nothing I haven't done. So I'm excited.
You mentioned in a call during the off season all the guys in the minor leagues who passed you up, and it seems like that really served to motivate you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think being overlooked my whole life. Starting off with not getting an offer at University of Hawaii, which is like in my backyard. It all started there, and it just made my chip deeper and deeper and deeper. So still a huge chip on my shoulder, and I'm not gonna stop. They passed me before, but I got them back, and those guys are still chasing me, so I got to keep my distance.
Is that the chip now? You gotta maintain or get better.
I mean, yeah, 100%. But my chip is more for myself to prove to myself that I can do it, play shortstop at a high level at this level.
Okay, thanks.
Go to Steven.
Hey, Isaiah, how different are conversations with your teammates now that you're kind of in a different role? I mean, you're taking over not only shortstop, but the spot that Elvis had. I mean, what are the conversations like with teammates, and how are they different, if at all?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the leader of this team, and conversations are more from that standpoint. Lead by example. People follow. If they have any questions, they come up to me now. I have an answer for them, and it's a good feeling. And I like that the direction the team is going, and I enjoy this role.
Like you said, you've got guys coming to you. You're still a pretty young guy, but being on a team with a bunch of young guys and a team in the mode that it is, how much does that make it easier for you to take on that? And do you see this as something, man, this could be a long-term thing that we could get something really going here?
Yeah, I think coming off of a Gold Glove helps a lot. Coming off of being a catcher, so I already have a lot of respect from the pitchers because I caught pretty much every single guy in here except the new guys. But those guys know the work I put in for them, and they appreciate it. So now that I'm playing shortstop, it's just getting my feet wet and doing what I have to do to help the team. But I've realized that I'm the leader of this team, and I'm excited going forward.
All right, thanks, man.
Go to Sam.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, that you had wanted to come into spring and be vaccinated. That was something you had talked about. I'm curious, why you feel like that's important, and if that's something you feel like players around the league kind of want, or if you just teammates kind of want that.
At the end of the day, that's not up to me. It's up to the organization, the owners, and the union to figure it out. But for me personally, I just wanted to get it done, knowing I would be okay. That way, I could see my family and whatnot. But if the circumstances don't allow it, then they don't allow it. I get paid to do what I'm doing now, so I can't complain. I got to deal with the protocols and do what I have to do.
We'll go to Chris.
Yeah, Isaiah, congrats on the Gold Glove, by the way. I've been gone all winter, so I wanted to send congrats to you. But,
Thank you.
I remember last year when you talked about how the off-the-field protocols, especially on the road, how challenging that was. Looking at how the protocols were supposed to be this year, obviously it's going to be a longer season, but how do you anticipate this year being any different from last year, and how you guys can properly combat that?
I think hopefully everything just kind of slows down so that everything can get back to normal. But until then, I mean, at least we had some practice. So that 60-game season gave us some type of awareness of what we're going to be going up against this year. And it's going to be tough. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're getting paid to be here. So anytime you're getting paid to be somewhere, there's no complaints.
And what have you done to go to the next level at the plate? You did really, made a lot of improvement with, contact and having those numbers come through. But, ways to possibly slug a little bit more? How are you looking to improve to round out the rest of your offensive game?
I'm trying to be a shortstop, so I think being a shortstop, that really takes all the weight off my shoulders. Last year, I was going in as a utility role, knowing that if I didn't put up the numbers I was supposed to, or hit homers in spring training, that I'd have no opportunity at third base. So to be an elite third baseman, you'd have to, bang it out with guys like Rendon, Arenado. And looking in the mirror, I knew I could do it if I put the work into it. But going over to shortstop just takes all that away, and now I can just go and play. I was going up every at bat trying to press someone last year. So now that I got the shortstop job, it's something that I always dreamed of. Now I can be myself, and I think when I'm myself, that's when everything kind of comes together. And I'm excited to prove myself and to show this organization that I want to be a part of this a World Series team here for a long time.
All right, great. Thanks, Isaiah. I appreciate it.
Go to Kennedy.
Hey Isaiah, outside of the baseball thing, I recently saw that you were doing some charity work in Hawaii, reaching out to help, food insecurity and that. I wanted to know how you got started with that and how that kind of went about, selling the t-shirts and things like that.
Yeah, I think yesterday was the last day of our T-shirt sales, and we got 538. So all the proceeds of that are going to go to the Hawaii Food Bank. I thought it was just important, just coming off the season I had, to put my face out there and give back to the community. I was never really in a position to give back just based on the way I played. I felt like I wasn't good enough yet. And, after the season I had, I felt like I could be a little more vocal. And I was just happy to have my parents' support, my agent's support, to go along with it. It's something I'm not really used to. I'm still getting familiar with it. But anytime I can give back, especially in these tough times, it means a lot to me. And, I'm trying to work on something to help out Texas, especially with all the tough things going on. But, first things first was to give back to my community, and I'm glad I was able to.
When you look at the entire major leagues, there's not many Hawaiian baseball players. Do you see yourself kind of coming to the forefront of that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things for me is growing up. I had Shane and Kurt Suzuki, so having those two guys to emulate and be like was really cool. So I think it's cool for the next generation to be able to look up to me and see what I'm doing, and just understand that anything's possible. Even though we don't have a lot of baseball players from Hawaii, it's just another opportunity to get off the island and have some success in life. So, it's another route. It's not the football, the surfing route like everybody else is used to, but trying to show them another way to get themselves off the island and just, get educated.
I know we're only supposed to ask two, but how did you get to baseball instead of, like you said, football or surfing?
I understood at a young age I wasn't big enough. So right when I understood that, it was straight into baseball. I gave everything I had since my sophomore year, and surfing wasn't really my thing just because I got pounded all the time. So just stuck with baseball, and I'm glad I did.
Awesome. Thanks, Isaiah.
Okay, we got some follow-ups. We'll go back to Jeff.
Hey, Chu is going to go play in Korea. What kind of impact did he have on the team and maybe on you in the last few years?
He had a huge impact on everybody in the clubhouse. Like I said, coming up and having guys like Chu, Beltre around was crazy, and it was I would go to my locker and I'd look at Chu, and it was just like it was mind blowing to me that he was my teammate, and everything he's done for the organization, he's always done everything the right way. So to lead by example the way he did, and to do everything the right way and produce on the field, it just showed all the young guys what you have to do. But the little things like giving back, that's kind of actually where I got my start of wanting to run the foundation, is seeing that a guy like Chu during the coronavirus gives back $1,000 to every minor league player. That's like the little things that he does, and big things that he does. But in the locker room, he does things like that for the younger guys all the time. There's nobody better to look up to. Everything he does, the way he is as a father, a husband, a friend, there's no better guy to look up to. So I'm glad that he's back in Korea, and he gets to play in front of his parents and his family. So that's cool for him.
Yeah. So I'm sure there are a lot of guys, like you mentioned, Beltre and Chu, but as you step into this leadership role, those are the guys you draw on. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go back to Sam. Anybody else, just raise your hand. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, just real quick, I wanted to follow up on, you mentioned that you felt, I guess, less pressure after you were given the shortstop job. I'm curious, just wanted to make sure, do you mean less pressure to be a power hitter or just less pressure in general to kind of prove yourself?
Third base isn't who I am. It's what I did, but it's not who I am. I'm a shortstop. I'm an elite shortstop, and I'm ready to prove it. So but I understood that for me to get this opportunity, I had to be a really good third baseman, and that's just one of the things I did. So I had to be a catcher. I was a catcher. I had to be a third baseman. I had to be a third baseman, and now I can be myself and do what I want to do, not what everybody else wants me to do. So I think that's a big key. Everybody thinks that, like, my bat's not there, this and that, but in reality, I never got to do what I wanted to do till now. So I think the pressure of getting myself this opportunity was what was kind of weighing me down, and understanding that I wasn't a power hitter, but I had to be a power hitter, so I grew into one. But now I'm a shortstop again, and I'm a dangerous player when I'm playing shortstop, so I'm excited to show everyone.
Do you still want to be someone that's like can hit like 20 home runs in a?
I'll get there. Who knows? I didn't think I could win a Gold Glove. I won a Gold Glove. Didn't think I could be a big league catcher. I was a big league catcher. Didn't think I could play third base. Was a starting third baseman on opening day. So, and I know I can play shortstop. So that's what's more exciting. Everything else was kind of caught me by surprise. But now I'm myself, and I'm gonna be here for a long time.
We will go to Stephen.
Isiah, like you said, you weren't a third baseman, you weren't a catcher, but you did those things. How did you kind of reconcile in your mind as you were having to go through that? Was it knowing, hey, that I've got to wait for just the opportunity you've got right now?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be a big leaguer. At that time, I didn't set myself or put myself in a position to do any of the things, but by doing everything and checking off every box that the organization asked me to, put me in this position. And, a lot of guys would have shied away, ran away, or wouldn't be here. But I stuck through every single row, and I've succeeded at every single row. So now that I'm in this row, I mean, I'm me now. So I've done everything else for the organization, for my teammates, for my coaches, and now it's just exciting that I can now play shortstop for me and for my team, which is a lot different than trying to just stick around.
Last question for me. You talked about obviously guys that were in there too, and Adrian and guys like that. Have you had any conversations since this announcement with guys like Beltre, or have you even had a conversation with Elvis or anybody, or has it just been kind of move forward?
Just moving forward. Those guys meant so much to me while I was their teammate, but at this point, they're not my teammate at the moment. They'll still always go down as as my teammates, of course, but right now we're flipping the script, and it's 2021, and I'm looking at who we got in the clubhouse, and that's how we're building our culture, and we're sticking together in that aspect. But those guys will always be there for me. So it's a cool feeling knowing that they're just a phone call away, but it's also cool to start something special in the clubhouse.
All right, man. Thanks, buddy.
Going to Emily.
Hey, Z. You've always been a confident guy, but it seems like you're expressing it a lot more now. Is that just you getting back, like you said, to being you, or have you come into kind of even a newer found confidence than you had before?
I think it's just getting back to myself. I had to kind of fake the confidence at other positions to show the guys that I could do it and I was willing to do it. But then back in my mind, I knew, I was always a shortstop and see how long I could last at other positions. But now that I'm back here, I mean, I feel like I could express myself and do what I need to do because I'm that confident of the product and what I can do out there as well.
And this might be a strange question, but there has to be a certain, it's a team sport, obviously, but doesn't there have to be a certain level of selfishness in order to excel in the position that you're in order to thereby benefit the team? And are you recognizing that?
Yeah, just growing up and watching all these guys play, being a leader, you have to want it for yourself first. If you don't want it for yourself, if you don't have the passion to get better for yourself, then it's hard to help other people. So the better I can be, and I wouldn't say selfish, but the more I can look at myself and understand what's going on and appreciate what I'm doing, the more I can, tell somebody they're doing a good job or be accountable for someone else. I think it all starts within myself. So, Yeah, I think that's right.
Selfish was probably a bad word.
Well, I know what you're trying to say though. It's fine. Uh-oh, I think we lost you.
You're out of the internet.
Think of a better one. That's why it's so weird question.
No, it's
Okay,
fine.
thank you.
Okay, well, last one, and Woody will be ready. We'll go to Aaron.
I love Emily Jones. I'm just going to start with that. Isaiah, I'm just a simple question. I'm curious to know what you maybe learned most from Elvis at shortstop, and then who were some of the shortstops you idolized or admired or emulated growing up?
Elvis taught me a lot. I mean, to be at the level he was at for 12 years, it's pretty incredible. He taught me how to take care of your body. Taught me, he just the little things that people don't really see or really understand. He just taught me things that, he taught me things where I could take and I could slow the game down. When you're young and you're new to doing something, I think the game speeds up on you. But the way he would do things, he'd always slow the game down. So just taking that knowledge from him really helped me understand that this game is more mental. And, I appreciate everything he's done. And the guys that I grew up trying to be like were Derek Jeter, Ozzie Smith, Michael Young, and who's the other guy? I forgot who the other guy was, but those are the three main guys. It was Michael Young, Derek Jeter, and Ozzie Smith.
Thanks, Isaiah.
Alonzo.
Okay.